Welcome to Leading in Luxury, the podcast where we dive deep into the strategies and stories shaping the boutique and luxury hospitality industry. I'm your host, Daniel Renna. For those of you just joining us, we are DMR AI Hospitality Solutions, and we specialize in helping the boutique and luxury hospitality industry scale their revenue and profitability by acquiring new clients. We believe in leveraging cutting-edge technology to enhance, not replace, the human element of hospitality. Today, we have a truly distinguished guest, David S. Lopez, the managing director and project development for Civilian Hotels. Located in the vibrant Hell's Kitchen on the edge of New York City's theater district, Civilian Hotel has quickly established itself as an artful extension of its dynamic surroundings, designed by the award-winning architect David Rockwell. It's a place where customization, community, and creativity converge to offer a hospitality experience unlike any other. David's dual role means that he's not only overseeing the day-to-day operations, but also shaping the future growth and development of this unique brand. David, it's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Glad to meet you, Daniel.
Thank you. The Civilian Hotel is clearly more than just a place to stay. It's a destination that immerses guests in Manhattan's creative scene. As managing director and head of project development, can you start by telling us about the vision behind Civilian Hotel and how this unique location and David Rockwell's theatrical design contribute to its distinct identity, and what excites you most about developing this brand further?
Yes, it has been a long period of time. The property opened up, I would say, about 5 years ago, right after COVID. Supposed to open before, delayed, right? COVID hit. We were already a bit late on the construction side, but the development, the actual brand itself is birthed by Jason Pomeranz. Everyone would know who he is because he's the one that developed the Thompson brand, the original 60 Thompson on Thompson Street here in Manhattan, and then went on to develop 15 additional hotels. And I believe he tapped out a bit later, but the properties were like it had expanded exponentially. So then, now he's decided to do smaller projects. And he created the 60 hotels after the Thompson, 60 spelled
Mm-hmm.
Sixty. And he's still
Okay.
maintained three properties: Beverly Hills, Lower East Side, and the original 60 Thompson, which then became 60 Hotel. And so they've just sold that to Standard Hotels. I believe that's who they sold it to, and is now the Manor. So what he does now is he takes on projects he fills and brands that he creates that are a little closer to his heart, a little bit more exciting for him. I don't really think that it's necessary to be out and about expanding into 50 hotels. So I think his vision is, look at each project carefully, decide if one, we're going to be able to really, really take hold in the community, develop the assets, and in turn, ensure that the asset is successful to a civilian flag, right? And at the end of the day, he is very careful as who he partners with. He certainly has many, many people that come to him, every month about new projects. But I think he's gotten to a point where he decides, you know what, I want to take this real slow, and take it easy and ensure that the brand itself, the Civilian brand, continues its development
Yeah.
and its full embrace, because it's really experiential property. And a lot of people say it's experiential, but some people really miss it. You could put millions of dollars in a great design like we did with David Rockwell. But the difference is David Rockwell is one heck of a special, iconic designer in hospitality and theater. And so the original process here it wasn't actually tapped to be a Civilian. It's going to be another hotel altogether. And then the ownership met Jason through mutual connections, and they decided, like at the 11th hour or 10th hour, to actually bring Jason on and his expertise. And at that time, and I was like literally right behind him in terms of like being hired as the general manager of the property. David Rockwell plays a incredible role here because he constantly is helping to refresh the property, ensure that it's maintained at the highest level of the original design. It's a special property. It's a special offering of, it's certainly is theater driven, but in a way that's so intentional and upscale, not kitschy. There's the artwork that he put into this. Every piece of artwork is something David actually drove through his relationships on the theater side and other artisans. So, it was already going to be a success, in my opinion. But the question was always, how far do we lean into theater? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like there are times when you can lean just a little bit too much. And mind you that I think that even the artists and the actresses and everybody involved in theater really appreciates to have a refined experience that's super intentional, even from sometimes our partnerships with various theaters that launch
Mhm.
new shows, whether it cabarets, reboots, or what other ones have we had? There's been so many. And so we actually put together drinks, for like maybe 3 months that are relative to that particular show. So there's crafting that's being done. There's collaborations that are being done with the community, with theaters, and it goes far beyond that because it's really organic. And it continues through as you develop the relationships within the community, whether it's American Theater Wing, which we actually are partnered with. Proceeds from some of the hotel stays go to them, to just David Rockwell when we're ready to reboot a restaurant, which he just did, called Carver Steak. It was Roseville before, but now it's Carver Steak, and they're from Vegas. Carver Road Hospitality, an absolute incredible partner in F&B and great operators. So we unveiled Carver Steak a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months, and it's a huge hit. And I think I showed you a little bit of it. It's beautiful, and the food is excellent. The service is outstanding. You know, when you know that a restaurant's been open only that period of time and it's hard to get a reservation, it's probably a home run. And this is all David
That's awesome.
Rockwell's doing. He's developed the entire thing with Carver Road Hospitality. So we're very proud of that. And so as long as we're always consistently reflecting on what's next, what is an enhancement of the brand, the Civilian brand? How do we do that with our partners together, very intentional? Then I think the brand itself will continue to be successful. We do have a new property that will be opening in Los Angeles in 2027. That's Civilian. I can't say which property that is, but we're excited by that.
Mhm.
And I think that just goes to the fact that we are very intentional what we do, especially on the team members that we put in place that help us. Obviously, millions of dollars into an asset is great, but without the service component, without the human component, as much as everybody wants to go to AI, which I love, Claude, mind you, I love Claude.
All best friends.
My best friend is Claude. He even speaks to me. I could get him to speak to us right now. But I mean, it is really important. All of it's, in my opinion, you have to stay just above the fray. You have to know what's happening. AI is one of those components where you have to embrace it. It can help you, right? Because our business is so fast, so quick that sometimes you don't even have time to breathe. It's just so much going on, you know, within our industry and constantly, especially when you're dealing with the lifestyle property, activations, bookings of entertainment, just, I mean, there's so much, right? So yeah, that's to me what Civilian is about originally and where it's going now, because I feel like people are like really catching on. Our guests, I mean, I think we're in New York City right now. I'm not sure if we were number 31 out of 587 properties, but consider it's an affordable luxury brand, smaller rooms, very well appointed, but it's still smaller rooms. And so if you can actually create and nurture a culture with your team members fully in your asset, then you're already above head over heel of other brands that are in the market.
That's really cool. And it's such a powerful vision, and it's great. I like the way that you said how it makes the hotel an artful extension of the creative neighborhood that it's in. So Civilian Hotel offers a highly customized guest experience where every reservation starts with essentials and guests can build their ideal stay with various add-ons, from housekeeping to fitness passes and custom in-room treats. As managing director, how challenging is it to manage such a dynamic, a la carte approach to hospitality, ensuring operational efficiency and profitability while consistently delivering a personalized experience for each guest, from those who keep it simple to those who prefer a little bit more?
Yes. The mantra there, the overview just wrote, interesting enough, is in the middle of being retooled and rebranded because when we came out of COVID, interesting story.
Yeah.
When we came out of COVID, we hadn't actually built out the full tenants, the brand tenants and pillars. And so we realized that quickly as we were in COVID that we're like, well, wait a minute, we started hearing about the cities shutting stuff down. You couldn't actually, if you checked in to your hotels, you couldn't actually receive housekeeping. You couldn't
Right.
receive room service. You couldn't, there's so much that there were precautions to all of it. And, you had to be distanced, et cetera. So as we were actually going through the process of being delayed by COVID, we then switched up a bit at that moment, realizing, you know what, people are not going to want all of these service automatically. So to the point that what you just read was it's customization and people will ask for what they want was a product of then. And, people forget quite quickly when the alarming, COVID, world that we were in starts dissipating. You kind of know that, okay, so now everyone's forgetting about that. And now people want housekeeping. Now people want turn down service. Now people want everything, and they're wondering why you're charging them for it. Right? I mean, it's catch 22, kind of. You think about it, like, wait a
Right.
minute, what's happening here? But I think so now that served us well for 4 years, and many guests. I mean, by the way, sustainability. Many guests didn't want the service. They preferred it every 3 days or didn't have it at all. They would call for towels. They would call for bath amenity, whatever it is. That's what they would do then, right? Now it's changing, and people, and mind you, cities, states in the United States as well, have changed the rules from a legislation standpoint. So, example, New York City just outlawed charging for any of that. So now you can't actually charge a guest for housekeeping. Now you can't put those fees like you used to. So now we're flipping it and we're figuring out a new way of how do we still stay customized with understanding that now guests want the service, but then they don't want the service. So then we'll put a system in place where they'll maybe put a note or they'll ping us because we have everything on our ecosystem's high technology. So they'll ping us and say, oh, we don't want service today. Believe it or not, we have about 20% to 22% that don't want the service. And if they want the service, they'll call for the service.
Right.
So still a bit of sustainability measures happening. But, again, since we're going into a situation where maybe we have 2 or 5 or 6 civilians, we are now looking at our brand tenants to ensure that for development and for growth purposes in the next 10 years, we are still providing the best and unique experience to our guests.
So you've also
100%.
created the Civilian Circle, which is a loyalty program offering insider perks, curated experiences, exclusive benefits. For a hotel deeply rooted in New York's creative scene and appealing to a discerning clientele, how do you leverage the Civilian Circle to foster a sense of community and loyalty among your guests? And what kinds of curated experiences and exclusive benefits do you find most effectively resonate with your target audience? And how do those programs contribute to the direct bookings and repeat stays, especially as you consider the brand's future development?
Great questions. I would say that initially, the Civilian Circle is only 2 years old and it's still in development. We are competing, and on many ways, some would say, fellow hoteliers would say, no, you're not competing with rewards programs that are what the brands have developed and they provide to their return guests, right? So we're not in the same realm as them. We have limited resources to that. So we have to lean on, again, being as creative as possible and intentional as possible. And I think part of what you need to do is you need to ensure that the service culture in your building at the highest level possible, that you are engaging your team members, that you're including them in decision making, that you understand their needs, maybe even as much as if they want to go online to Cornell, and because they're going to be in the career in hospitality, that you
Sure.
provide that to them, to just to understanding them and listening to them, because at the end of the day, you can have as many programs as you want, and you could check into another brand that offers rewards. But if the front office people are not so nice, the experience itself is it's like whatever. So we can't, for us, the competition And the realization is that we must always provide the very best and authentic service. We must always be on. So that then folds into what we offer from awards program is great rates, very special rates when you sign up, the lowest rates in the market. You also are part of the Civilian Circle database, which means that you will get on a monthly basis, if not sometimes twice a month, very, very special offers. And within that, we also have an urban, what we call it a guest experience fee, but within that, you're able to apply credits to food and beverage, or you can also purchase our swag. And there's just various ways that we try to improve the guest experience through that culture. And so I think our repeat guests that stay with us, there's one guest that has spent over $340,000 staying with us. And obviously New York, it racks up, right? That's 5 years worth of
All
stays.
right, exactly.
And they've also had events here, and they've also had, so we keep a very close eye through our position called guest experience manager, a gem, which I think
Hmm.
many companies now have gems on staff. We really, really hone in on birthdays, anniversaries. We hone in on all the old school stuff that when I was a concierge eons ago,
Right.
we did, right? But now you have one person or two people that are actually doing all of that to make sure that the guests stay, though they don't get rewards, will actually have an incredible stay with us. They'll want to come back, and they do want to come back. And I think that's kind of the special DNA that we created at Civilian Hotel.
So, as managing director in project development, what are the biggest trends you're observing in urban luxury hospitality that are influencing your current operations and future development plans for Civilian Hotel? And how is the brand adapting its strategies, whether in technology, F&B, guest engagement, to stay at the forefront of innovation and continue attracting both outsiders and the who's who of Manhattan's creative scene in such a rapidly evolving environment? And what does the future pipeline look like?
So I think, okay, first of all, the civilian brand is high tech, is definitely high technology. Like, we created a great tech stack. We constantly look at our tech stack to see if there's not new players, which there always is in the market that, like, for instance, we had to Intelli has our app. When we first started, we had Canary. We still have Canary to ensure security of guest credit cards, and also auto check-in, auto keys on their telephones. So we kind of, we definitely worked towards a solution that where guests, if they wanted it, could be seamless and almost invisible. And there are people like that in the market. Not a lot, but there are. And so when we developed the property, we definitely put in put in the technology to ensure that we are able to offer those services to the guests. So now what we do is we are now looking at new partners. Technology has changed. People used to download the apps, right? All the time. Now people don't want to download apps. For what purpose do they think? Like, why would I want to do that when you can have like a link now, and whatever it's on your arrivals report, your arrivals, or your Canary welcoming the guests pre-arrival, and you have a link there, and then they can just go through the link process. I think we have a partner, and I can't remember the name, Togo. I think it's Togo, who provides neighborhood coverage in terms of we obviously choose who those people are partners. So we
Right.
link there for our guests to see that. We had kiosks. This is crazy. We had kiosks, and that was the thing. Vegas did kiosks or whatever. And then everybody else wanted to do
Correct.
kiosks. We made the kiosks for 3 years, and it was just not helpful. And people would just get upset with it because it would malfunction. And so we got rid of those. And then we went with easier check-in process through Canary. They're always building out new technologies. I think that's why they're on fire right now and deploying everywhere. So for us, it's really when we look at what we're doing at the beta testing hotel, which is in New York City, the Civilian, we
Right.
are constantly, literally quarterly suggesting maybe we check out this new technology. Sometimes we go to trade shows, the tech shows, we look at what's in the market, and there's some interesting stuff out in the market, and we might be making some changes to our tech stack as we move into a few more hotels. So I think it also the building, right? The building itself has to lend itself to new technology. Sometimes you take over a building and maybe they don't
Right.
have the Wi-Fi inside the chip, so you have to purchase that. Maybe they're an older building. You have to decide you want to spend the money because from a brand perspective, it should be carried through all the properties with experience,
Right.
right? It has to match up. That's why you're successful in
Exactly.
the first place. So I think for us, we're kind of we are techie people. Myself and the one of the general managers and a few others in the in the organization. We're literally a bit of a techie junkies. So we're always constantly trying to figure out how we can make things easier, but also very important, understanding how that fits into the service culture of the civilian hotel. How does that fit in there? How does it enhance it? Because we don't want to negatively impact it. We want to get the team members to be as productive as possible, spend most of the time in front of the guest, talking to the guest, not shying away from the guest, not having their face in the computer, et cetera, right? Because I think at the end of the day, that's what I think all of us would like when we go into a hotel. We want to be able to see somebody look up and the old 10-5 rule and just greet you, right? Even if you're just coming back with
Exactly.
with all of your grocery bags or not a grocery,
Right.
but like, whatever retail you just went to and just somebody saying hi to you.
Right. Exactly. Cool. Well, David, your insights into customized guest experiences, loyalty programs, and navigating the dynamic New York City market and future development are incredibly valuable. And you've painted a clear picture of the dedication and innovation required to lead a unique hotel concept. Now, looking at everything we've discussed, from crafting a unique brand identity and managing highly customized guest experience to fostering loyalty and adapting to urban luxury trends and future project development, if you had a magic wand and could fix just one thing in the boutique and luxury hospitality industry that would most significantly enable civilian hotels to consistently deliver unparalleled, personalized, and profitable experiences while staying true to their unique vision and expanding its footprint, what would that one thing be?
I would say if it's all the markets that we're thinking about, the one thing would be I'm literally pondering it right now, and we have the necessary tools. Would I say that we're talking asset management? We'd love, to work with some fantastic new lenders. I would love to, be in a situation where we can continue to develop, always keeping an eye on service and refreshing the product the way it's supposed to be refreshed, keeping it on par as to when we first launched. I think those are important pieces of that nobody talks about, but they are important. They attribute to our success when you have those three things that line up.
Well, David, this has been an absolutely captivating conversation. Your strategic vision for Civilian Hotel and your insights into crafting unique, customized guest experiences and future development are truly inspiring. I want to thank you so much for joining us on Leading in Luxury.
Appreciate it, Daniel. I hope to finally see you when you come back to the States. I guess I'd have to go
That'll be
over to
awesome.
Florida. Very good. Thank you.
Exactly. Well, to our listeners, if you found David's insights as compelling as I did, be sure to subscribe to our channel and drop us a like. You can find out more about Civilian Hotel and their innovative approach to urban luxury in the description below. For Leading in Luxury, I'm Daniel Renna, and I'll see you next time.